It was a meeting meant to reinforce NATO's strength, but instead, it exposed a deep divide. US Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth walked into NATO headquarters with a blunt message: Europe must take charge of its own security. With Washington shifting focus to domestic threats and the Indo-Pacific, NATO leaders, led by Secretary-General Mark Rutte, pushed back. But with Ukraine desperate for more military aid and NATO countries urging greater US involvement, is America stepping away? And can Europe truly defend itself? For years, NATO allies have relied on US leadership to spearhead military operations, particularly in Ukraine. But Hegseth's remarks signaled a major shift. Washington will no longer bear the financial and military burden alone. The biggest friction point: Ukraine's future in NATO.
Turning to Ukraine's pre-2014 borders is an unrealistic objective. Chasing this illusionary goal will only prolong the war and cause more suffering.
That statement sent shockwaves across the alliance. European leaders have insisted that securing Ukraine's territorial integrity remains a core NATO objective. NATO Secretary-General Mark Rutte was quick to push back, arguing that European nations have already ramped up defense spending and are committed to supporting Ukraine in the long haul.
Since the 2014 Defense Investment Pledge, European allies and Canada have added more than 700 billion additional US dollars for defense. So we are seeing substantial progress. But we need to do a lot more, so we have what needs to deter and defend.
But for Hegseth, these efforts are still far from enough. He ruled out any large-scale US troop deployments and signaled that NATO security guarantees must now come from European forces, not American boots on the ground.
Instead, any security guarantee must be backed by capable European and non-European troops. If these troops are deployed as peacekeepers to Ukraine at any point, they should be deployed as part of a non-NATO mission, and they should not be covered under Article 5. There also must be robust international oversight of the line of contact. To be clear, as part of any security guarantee, there will not be US troops deployed to Ukraine.
For European leaders, that message is troubling. NATO has been reliant on the US military umbrella since its founding in 1949, and a retreat from Washington could leave a dangerous gap. But Rutte insists Europe is already moving in the right direction.
Today, I am pleased to share our latest figures. Since the 2014 Defense Investment Pledge, European allies and Canada have added more than 700 billion additional US dollars for defense. In 2024, NATO allies in Europe and Canada invested 485 billion US dollars in defense, a nearly 20% increase compared with 2023.
At the heart of the dispute is Ukraine. The US has been Kyiv's largest military backer, providing billions in weapons and intelligence support. But with growing opposition at home, Hegseth is now making it clear the US will not bankroll Ukraine indefinitely.
As part of this, Europe must provide the overwhelming share of future lethal and non-lethal aid to Ukraine. Members of this contact group must meet the moment. The European continent deserves to be first.
That stance has sparked mixed reactions.
Those in the neighborhood.
Some European leaders fear Washington's disengagement could embolden Russia, while others see it as a long overdue wake-up call for Europe to take responsibility for its own security. As the NATO defense ministers brainstorm, the divide remains stark. America, under Donald Trump's leadership, is demanding Europe step up. But with Ukraine's war still raging and NATO facing critical challenges, one question looms large. Can the alliance survive without Washington leading the charge?